Oh, I know some of you might be thinking, reading is so boring. But let me show you that reading isn't just fun, it's the secret weapon that will truly make you fluent in English. Imagine this: you want to speak English like a native speaker, without any fear. You want to chat effortlessly without overthinking, understand movies without subtitles, and express your thoughts in a way that feels completely natural. Reading is the most powerful way to get there. This isn't just staring at words on a page. It's like stepping into a magical world where you learn new words, understand grammar, and start speaking like a native, all without trying. Reading is your personal English teacher you can take anywhere. Every time you open a book, story, article, or comic, you get a lesson with zero extra effort. The words you see, the sentences you read, and the ideas you grasp, they all strengthen your English vocabulary and build speaking confidence without any roadblocks. Picture yourself reading a girl's story about traveling in a new country. Along with her journey, you pick up words for places, expressing emotions, and describing events. And here's the magical part: you're learning without even trying. It's fun, engaging, and feels natural, like watching a movie in your mind. One amazing thing about reading is that it familiarizes you with how English sentences are built. While reading, you're not memorizing grammar rules. You're seeing grammar in action. For example, sentences like, "He was running quickly," or "She decided to go to the park," show your brain how English works. No need to study rules because you see them used correctly over and over. And here's the big secret: the more you read, the less you'll think when you speak. Your brain remembers the patterns and phrases from stories. When it's time to talk, the right words come out automatically, like magic. Reading gives you an awesome vocabulary. Every time you read, new words join your collection. Think of it like gathering special tools you can use whenever you need them. If you're reading a jungle adventure, you'll learn words like wild, explore, adventure, or mystery. These aren't boring textbook words, they're meaningful ones that paint pictures in your mind. And guess what? When you share an exciting story or tell your own, those words will come back. You won't just say, "It was fun." Now you can say, "It was an amazing adventure." Doesn't that sound so much better? Reading fills your brain with words and sentences that make you sound like a native speaker. Reading helps you think in English, not translate. The biggest challenge in learning English is that we think in our native language first, then translate. But reading changes that. When you read over and over, thinking in English starts happening automatically. Imagine reading a simple story about a boy who loves football. You get so immersed that you don't think about the words. You just experience the story and visualize it in your mind. Slowly, without realizing, you stop translating. English starts feeling natural. You're training your brain that there's no need to think in another language, just understand and use English directly. This is the most powerful way to speak fluently and confidently. Reading makes you a better listener too. You might think, how does reading help with listening? Well, when you read, you get familiar with English words and sentence structures. So when someone speaks, your brain recognizes them quickly and understands. Think of hearing a new song. The first time, it's not clear. After a few listens, every word and beat makes sense. Reading does the same for listening. The more you read, the easier it gets to understand spoken English, whether from friends, movie dialogues, or podcasts. Your ears get trained to hear and comprehend English, just like your eyes recognize words on a page. Think about it. When you know something well, confidence comes naturally, right? The more you read, the more you know. You'll learn new words, understand English better, and feel ready to chat. Imagine reading a story about a fancy restaurant chef. Next time food comes up, you can say, "I read about an amazing chef who makes the tastiest food." Suddenly, you have an interesting thing to share, and it feels great. You're not repeating classroom stuff. You're sharing something unique you discovered yourself. How much should you read? No need for hours. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a huge difference. Pick your best time: morning, lunch break, or before bed. Start small and stay regular. Reading a little every day builds a strong habit. Over time, you'll notice your English improving without even realizing. Think of reading as a journey. You can visit new places, understand different cultures, and meet all kinds of characters, all through the pages of a book. It's like traveling without a plane ticket, and during the journey, you learn new ways to speak, styles of expression, and how to share your thoughts. Imagine making your favorite dish. Each ingredient adds more flavor. Reading is just like that. Every new word, phrase, and sentence makes your English richer and tastier. So when it's time to speak, you don't use plain, simple words. You use ones that bring your thoughts to life. When you read, especially stories and dialogues, you're learning the real English people use in daily life. Textbooks say, "Hello, how are you?" But in stories, people say, "Hey, what's up?" or "How's it going?" These are everyday real phrases. Reading makes you comfortable with them. So when you speak, you don't sound like a textbook. You sound natural, like a native speaker. Why start reading today? Now that you know how reading helps in so many ways, imagine how awesome it'll feel to speak English confidently, with new words and expressions, without any shyness. Reading is the simplest and most enjoyable path to that goal. Find something you like. Whether it's a story, article, or comic. Start reading a little every day. Here's a tip. Begin with books, magazines, or blogs in simple English. If you're new, choose materials made for beginners. They have easy words but are still fun. You're not just learning English, you're having a blast. And the best part of reading? It's a chance to collect new words like treasures. You don't need to memorize them like a list. Instead, when you see a new word, look at how it's used. Guess the meaning from the sentence. Like if you read, "The sky was gloomy," you'll think, "Yeah, gloomy means dark or sad." You can keep a word notebook for interesting ones. But remember, the goal isn't to memorize every word right away. Just get in the habit of noticing them. Over time, you'll see words come back, and they'll stick without effort. Example, in a story you read, "The little dog dashed across the yard." You learn dashed means ran quickly. Next time you talk about running fast, dashed will pop up automatically. It's like adding a new tool to your language toolbox. While reading, pay attention to sentence structures. Don't worry about grammar rules, they'll feel natural, just like how kids learn by listening and repeating. Seeing correct sentences helps you speak them correctly. Try this. Pick a simple sentence from what you're reading, then make your own using the same pattern. Like if you read, "She went to the store because she needed some milk." Make, "He went to the library because he needed a book." This practice boosts your confidence to speak naturally without translating in your head. One big benefit of learning English through reading is flexibility. You can switch it up whenever you want. Here are some ideas to keep it fresh and exciting. Point 1. Stories and novels. They're best for diving into another world and building vocabulary. For beginners, pick simple books. Even kids' books are fun and easy. Point 2. Short articles and blogs. Short on time? Read one quickly. Blogs on hobbies, travel, food, or fun facts are great. They're in simple English and super engaging. Point 3. Comics and graphic novels. Comics aren't just for kids. Pictures help you understand the story, and dialogues are simple. They show the natural flow of conversation. Point 4. Magazines. Choose your favorite topic, sports, tech, or fashion. Their articles are short, easy, and packed with useful phrases. The biggest barrier to speaking is lack of confidence. We worry about the right words or perfect grammar. Sometimes that fear stops us from speaking at all. Here's where reading becomes your secret weapon. By reading repeatedly, you see sentence structures, ways to express emotions, and real-life communication. The more you read, the more you absorb those patterns. Your brain fills up with English's rhythm. Without trying, you'll start speaking naturally, using expressions you saw in books or articles. You're not memorizing English, you're feeling it. Example, you read, "I'm over the moon about this new job." Without knowing, next time you're excited you'll say, "I'm over the moon." It's fun, personal, and sounds like authentic English, which boosts your confidence. Try this sometime, read a few sentences out loud. It's the most enjoyable way to practice pronunciation and get a smooth flow. Your mouth gets used to shaping English words, and it starts sounding native. It's like chatting to yourself, and it's super effective. Bonus tip: pick a short, simple paragraph and read it out loud 2 to 3 times until it feels natural. Then challenge yourself. Say it without looking. You'll notice the words flow smoothly, just like telling a story to a friend. Reading isn't limited to books. Bring English into your day in fun ways. Read labels, road signs, short instructions. It builds vocabulary fast. Imagine cooking. Check English recipes or read package ingredients. Into health? Read online about your topics. Little bits add up, and soon reading English feels as natural as breathing. Build your style from stories. Every story or article helps shape your unique voice in English. Every writer has their own way of expressing. Reading different styles lets you create your own, like one writer's emotional style or another's humor. Over time, you'll adopt your favorite writer's phrases, expressions, and storytelling tricks. Soon, you'll speak and write in English, with your own unique style. Example: if you like a writer's humor, you'll use funny expressions and light tones too. Your conversations become more interesting and personal. Reading also sparks creativity. The ideas you encounter inspire new ways of thinking. This helps with English learning and makes you a more fascinating person. When you know more about the world, your curiosity grows. You'll start reading about new areas, science, travel, or art. Imagine reading an article about the Northern Lights. You're learning English, but also gaining beautiful world knowledge. These little facts give you interesting topics to chat about with friends, making your conversations richer and more fun. Final thought: reading isn't just cool, it's a doorway. It's not boring or work. It's a journey that takes you to new words, cultures, ideas, and a deep connection with English. Every time you read, you're one step closer to fluency, one sentence to confidence, and one book toward your dream of becoming an English speaker. Reading ties together grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and fluency in a natural, fun way. So grab that book, scroll that article, dive into a story, and let reading take you further than you ever imagined.